Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today I'm talking about 10 different games. I'm talking about 10 different games I really like that I play on the Steam app quite a bit on my computer. A few weeks ago, I did a video talking about my 10 favorite board game apps on my phone, and I said I would do a Steam list. Here's that Steam list. These are games that uh, I didn't like to play on the phone very much because they're usually bigger games. I like to play my smaller games on the phone and the bigger games on the computer. With that being said, we'll jump into my 10th favorite one, and I'm kind of listing it how much I like the app version of that game. Doesn't mean necessarily it's my favorite in real life or anything, but just how much I enjoy playing it on the Steam app. Going to number 10 though, 10 is the only really small game on this list. That is Lost Cities. Lost Cities is a two-player only card game. And on your turn, you're going to be playing you have this hand of cards. And these are different suits or colors of cards numbered 1 through 10. And on your turn, you're going to either play a card on your side of the board in that particular color, or you're going to be playing that card in the center. Then on your after you play, you either take a card from the discard pile or you take one that is in the center, and the center area is just available for everyone. And you have to lay these cards on your side of the board in ascending order, and it just kind of gives a neat little way to play this little card game. Very simple, really like it. And if I'm on the computer and I got 10 minutes to spare, I might play a quick game of Lost Cities. Going to my number 9. Number 9 is a game that has become cool to hate over the years. This is Splendor. Splendor is this gem collecting sort of game where you're going to be collecting these different colored gems, and you can either collect gems or you can buy cards with these gems. And these gem cards actually will act as that particular gem color once you buy it. And there are 3 different rows of these gem cards, and at the beginning of the game you're not going to be able to purchase these second and third row cards, and they're going to have points on them. All the second and third row cards, the first player who gets 15 points wins the game. And like I said, it's kind of become cool to hate this game. I'm not sure why people let people enjoy the games that they enjoy. Not sure why has become a thing in recent years. Going to my number 8. Number 8 probably needs no explanation. Everybody's played this game probably, or some version of it. This is Pandemic. Pandemic is your classic cooperative game where you're going to be moving around cities trying to eliminate these diseases and find cures for them. Well, real life pandemic right now. But this game is still fun in real life as well. It's just a great cooperative experience, and the app is really well laid out on Steam, so that's why I enjoy it so much. Going to number 7. Number 7 is Small World. Small World is Risk, except you have these fantasy creatures, and these fantasy creatures have these special abilities, and you're also going to be that creature is also going to be attached to randomly to another special ability. So you'll get kind of 2 special abilities at random, and this is just a really fun kind of area control-ish game. And it's just really fun trying to find these broken combinations of Small World, because each game is going to be random with that. It's a game that I don't play much in real life anymore because my group didn't really like it as much as me. I actually have it. Yeah, I have it right here. I I have so many of the expansions for this game with different new creatures. Really, really good game in my opinion. That just doesn't get broken out in real life much. So playing it on Steam is one way I can play that game as much as I want. And of course, it goes a lot faster on the Steam on computer. So let's go to number 6. Number 6 is the only game on this list that I don't own. It is also the only game on this list that I've never played the physical version of. This is Istanbul. And this even made my top 50 games of all time, even though I've never played the physical version of it. I've never had my hands on the physical version. And this is like this worker movement action selection game where you start the game and you have this pile of discs, and you're going to be moving that pile of discs onto an adjacent action spot. And you're going to be taking that action, but you lose one of your discs. So you're going to be moving around this board, but you lose one of those discs every time you land on the spot. Or you can backtrack and go to a spot you've previously been and gather up that action, that token, that disc, and add it to your stack again. It just makes for an interesting mechanism that I really like this game quite a bit. Uh, Going to number five. Number five is the largest game on this list, and it's not even close, because this is the largest game I've probably ever played. This is Gloomhaven, and I actually think it's still in the beta version of this, but it's been in the beta version since 2019. They're just slowly releasing stuff and adding things to the game. And why I ended up getting this game on Steam is because Gloomhaven is so hard to get to the table. I've played the real life version of Gloomhaven probably 7 or 8 times. And I had a group that we were going and playing Gloomhaven. And we were playing it like every other Friday or something. And then it just kind of stopped. Because it's just a pain to set everything up and get it back to the table. And the Steam app for this game is one way I've gotten to play Gloomhaven a ton. I've actually played this. This is my most played game on Steam, and I don't even think it's close. Actually, I've played, I think, almost all of the scenarios on the Steam app with a friend, and we've put something like 70 or 80 hours into this game on the Steam. So yeah, I really like it. It's got some quirks here and there that don't quite work, but if you want to play Gloomhaven and you can't seem to get it to the table, highly recommend the app on Steam. Going to my number four. Number four is another big game, but it's very small compared to Gloomhaven. This is Scythe. I was talking about games that it's cool to hate now. Scythe seems to be on that list of games it's cool to hate. That'd actually be a good top 10 list. Games that are cool to hate. I don't know why people seem to hate it. They seem to say it's a little bit unbalanced, which, whatever, it's still a good game. It's this big kind of efficiency game. You have to be super efficient almost your every turn. You don't want to take turns that you're not being efficient, or else you're probably going to lose. But what I really like about this game, besides the efficiency engine, is the tension that always is in the game. You don't have to fight in this game at all, but the thought of it, the capability of someone attacking you is always present. So you're always watching what everybody is always doing, where they're at, trying to make sure you're not being vulnerable and be attacked. And if you can be, make sure that you can win that attack. Just a resource management game with a lot of tension that I really, really like. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The app lets you play it fast, especially against the AI players. So yeah, that is my number four. Number three is not quite as big, not quite as complex. That is Raiders of the North Sea. This is a worker placement game, and it's got a little twist on it because you're going to be placing your worker out, doing whatever that spot's action is, which is very simple. And then you're actually going to be taking another worker from a different spot and taking that action as well. So you get 2 actions per turn, and you're kind of collecting these resources to add these Vikings to your ship, and then eventually you're going to go out and raid these different spots, and these different spots will give you more resources to turn in for more points, and so on. And you just go back and forth collecting these resources, adding Vikings to your ship. Some of your Vikings will die, which is not a big deal because you'll get some points for that. Really good game altogether, and I love the artwork in this series of games, the North Sea games and the West Kingdom games. And this is probably the best looking app out of all of these apps that I'm talking about today. Going to my number two. Number 2 is Terraforming Mars. Actually, I have it right there. And there's the Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Terraforming Mars is you're playing as this giant corporation going to Mars and you're trying to terraform Mars. You're trying to add oceans to Mars, you're trying to raise the temperature, and you're trying to raise the oxygen level. And you're doing this all through this card engine building sort of way. And by the end of the game, you have tons and tons of cards in front of you, and you can see all the work that you've done on Mars. Really good game. Game that I like in real life, game that I like on Steam. Going to number one. Number one is a beautifully done game on Steam, and I think it's the newest one that got released. It's not super new on Steam, but it's probably the newest on this list. That is Wingspan. Wingspan, another Stonemaier game along with Scythe. Wingspan is another sort of engine building card game, but this time you're going to be buying these birds that will go on your aviary board, I think it's called. I'm not sure. But each of these birds is different, and there's hundreds of different birds. You're going to be adding these birds onto your your board, and which will make each of your actions stronger and more powerful. It's just a really good game that I really like in real life and on the app. They've done an excellent job of putting this on the computer, basically. And that will be my entire 10 game list of games I enjoy on Steam. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. If you have any games you want to recommend for me to play on Steam that you think I would like, make sure to comment below. I hope you all have an amazing day, and take care, everyone.